All right, folks, welcome back to 10-Minute Strategy. This is Peter Propp, Principal in the Marketing Leadership Practice at Shore Communications, and I am turning over the reins of this type of 10-Minute Strategy recording to my good friend and the founder and president of Shore Communications, John Blossom. And John is going to interview me.
Thanks very much, Peter, and welcome to another episode of 10-Minute Strategy. Today we're going to be highlighting an event coming up in the Fairfield County, Connecticut area called a Stamford Startup Weekend. And Peter, perhaps you can give us a little bit of an overview of what the weekend is going to be about.
Absolutely. So John, Startup Weekend is a activity. It's a movement all around the country, and you can look at startupweekend.org to find a startup weekend near you. If you want to register for the Stamford Startup Weekend, which is happening on starting Friday, March 30th at 6:30 p.m., go to stanford.startupweekend.org. And what happens at Startup Weekends is people get together and different sorts of people register. So graphic artists register, business people with business ideas register, people with technical backgrounds register, and they very quickly try to come together and pull together an idea that might be the genesis, the origin of a new startup.
And for the layout of the schedule for this event, it's kind of a multi-tier thing, as I understand it. There's things happening Friday, different sort of things happening Saturday with more of a developer focus, and different focus on Sunday. Maybe you could kind of lay that out for folks.
Right. So on Friday afternoon or Friday evening, there are going to be some presenters, some local people that have a lot of experience with the startup business. But then people from the registrants. So there's a cap on registrants of only 100. We already have close to 50 as we're recording this today. So there's not that many spots left. From the 100, some people are going to raise their hands and say, I've got an idea for a startup. I want to present my idea. And so people basically pitch their ideas. And they will get up there and get 5 minutes to say, here's what I think we should build a business around. And as many people who want to will bring up their idea. And then there will be some sort of adjudication of which are the best ideas that teams are going to form around. And so once they have those ideas identified, then teams will form around those ideas, and those become the teams that will work together to build the startups that will then get presented Sunday evening. And the Sunday evening presentation is at 5 p.m. at the University of Connecticut Stamford campus, which is just a few blocks away from the Stamford Innovation Center, where the main event is taking place. So the teams form. They work together for 54 hours or so, all day Saturday as long as they want to go, all morning Sunday as long as they want to go, and then they have to present starting at 6:30. So it's going to be hectic. I mean, they're really expected to present something that's actually been coded, something that actually has a graphical representation, a logo, some sort of design, some sort of reasonable business idea that people think might be useful.
So the people coming together, you have idea people, and then you have hackers, if you will.
Right.
Is it likely that these people are going to be knowing one another ahead of time, and they're going to be polishing something, or are they really starting from scratch? What's your sense of that?
I think it's a variety. I would, if I was to guess, I'd say 30, known ideas and 70%, 30% known and 70% less mature ideas.
Right.
But that's just me taking a wild stab at it. I really don't know.
And so they get to pitch, and what sort of folks are they likely to be pitching towards on the Sunday evening presentations?
So there's going to be a jury of VCs and business experts who are going to be there. So it's going to be people who actually could be investing in these ideas. So it's pretty exciting. Actual startups do come out of Startup Weekend, and it's part of a series of structures that are being created now There's another structure in place for things that get out of Startup Weekend. It's called founders.org, I believe, which is another set of structures to help little ideas get a little further along. And there's all sorts of different ways they can go. So Startup Weekend is one of those ways that ideas can get matured enough so they can be presented. And then who knows if they're good enough to go further. Certainly the track record from the Startup Weekends that I understand is that they usually get one or two ideas at least that go to a next stage. They may not fully launch as a business, but they get further along.
So this is the do, if you will. A lot of the hacking and what have you, the innovating, is going to be happening at the Stamford Innovation Center over the weekend. Is that your understanding?
Exactly right. It's a great way for us to start to get good karma rolling around in the Stamford Innovation Center, which as you know, is in the old town hall in Stamford, Connecticut, on Atlantic Avenue. It's a gorgeous old building that we're now renovating and turning into an incubator and a co-working space. So it's a great way to get a feel for that space. And really, the other thing you got to remember is a lot of what you do at a startup weekend is you get used to the idea of working in a startup. What's it like to have to collaborate, have to work fast, have to come up with your messaging, have to do that elevator pitch. All this stuff is getting compressed into a really short window, and it's like a crucible. You know, some ideas are going to come out well, but regardless, people are going to get the experience of what it feels like, and hopefully it'll help them develop more ideas in the future.
That's a good point, because one of the things you have to understand being in a startup is how to pivot.
Right.
Because you can start out with idea A and discover that either idea B is better, or 90 degrees to idea A and B are really where you should be headed.
Exactly.
So,
right.
That kind of teamwork is essential to be successful in a startup mode.
Exactly.
So, have you heard anything about what sort of people are going to be showing up so far?
Well, right now the registrations have been coming in daily. I'm on the mailing list that sees them as they come in. It's very exciting, but we have noticed that we have a real need for designers. So there's actually a severe discount, a deep discount for designers up until March 22nd. They can register for only $29, which is a $70 discount off the regular registration of $99. So if you're a designer out there, the Stamford Innovation Center is the great place for you to get to feel valued. We really want designers to show up and be part of these teams, because it really helps a startup to show off in a much better light. So the registrations for the weekend are at stamford.startupweekend.org. $99 for most registrants, $29 for designers up until March 22nd. And as you and I just went over, if you want to come to the Innovation Center and just see the presentations, which are taking place Sunday evening at what time did I say?
6:30, I believe.
At 5 p.m. Sunday
5
evening
p.m.
at 5 at UConn Stanford. That's just $20.
Okay, so just in wrapping up here, give us just a quick recap of the schedule. What's happening Friday, Saturday, Sunday? Go.
Actually, I'm going to take it one step back, because I forgot to mention there's actually a pitch workshop that our friend Mac Lipscomb is doing.
Okay.
And that's on March 22nd at 7:30. So if you register, you get a free pitch workshop by this guy who's helped dozens and dozens of executives, many, many startups. You and I know him. He's a really quality guy.
Yeah.
So he's going to help people develop their pitches so that when they go up Friday night and present their idea, they're really focused on the nugget of value, and hopefully will get selected as one of the ideas that the teams will form around.
Yeah.
So that's the 22nd. Then on Friday at 6:30 is the opening session. There's going to be some speakers, and then the people with ideas get a chance to pitch their ideas to the broader audience. The ideas get selected, the teams get formed, and then the work goes on. It may be 40 hours straight or 50 hours straight for some of these teams. And there will be mentors and all sorts of help during the weekend. Plenty of coffee, certainly enough food. And then on Sunday evening at 5 p.m. April 1st at UConn Stamford is when the judging takes place with a panel of VCs and local business leaders.
Sounds like a very exciting event. Stanford.startupweekend.org. We hope to see you there. That's it for this segment of 10 Minute Strategy. I'm John Blossom.
I'm Peter Propp. Thanks, John.
Thank you.